we'll see where the Spirit takes us as we welcome Him into this place today. Bodara.
Oh made me glad through the works. I triumphed in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep.
Standing on this mountaintop, looking just how far we've come, knowing that for every step you were with us, kneeling on this battleground, seeing just how much you've done, knowing every victory was your power in us. Scars and struggles on the way, but with joy our hearts can say, yes, our hearts can say. Never once did we ever walk alone. Never once did you leave us on our own. You are faithful, God, you are faithful. Standing on this mountaintop, looking just how far we've come, knowing that for every step you were with us, kneeling on this battleground, seeing just how much you've done, knowing in every victory was your power in us. Scars and struggles on the way, but with joy our hearts can say, yes, our hearts can say. Never once did we ever walk alone. Never once did you leave us on our own. You are faithful, God, you are faithful. Scars and struggles on the way, but with joy, never once did we ever walk alone, carried by your constant grace, held within your perfect peace. Never once, no, we never walk alone, never once. Never once did we ever walk alone. Never once did you leave us on our own. You are faithful, God, you are every stroke. Every step we are breathing in your grace. Evermore we'll be breathing out your praise. You are faithful, God, you are faithful. You are faithful, God, you are faithful. Standing on this mountaintop, looking just how far we've come, knowing that for every step you were with us, kneeling on this battleground, seeing just how much you've done, knowing every victory was your power in us. Scars and struggles on the way, but with joy our hearts can say, yes, our hearts can say. Never once did we ever walk alone. Never once did you leave us on our own. You are faithful, God, you are faithful. Never once did strength for today, bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings all with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Let's stand for the shofar and the reading of the Shema. Join with us as you can, as you're comfortable.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malkuto Leolam Vayeh. Blessed be the name of the glory of his kingdom, forever and ever. V'havta et Adonai Elohecha bekor lavavecha uvkor nafshecha uvkor meodecha. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. V'hayu hadvarim hayala asher anoki mitzvacha hayom ala vavecha. And these words which I command you today shall be upon your heart. Mishanan tam lavanecha v'debarta bam bevsheka v'evtecha uvlecha v'larech uvshachbecha uvkamecha. You shall teach them thoroughly to your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk on the road, when you lie down, and when you rise. Ukshartom leolot al yadeka vehayu letotafot bin inecha. You shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for a reminder between your eyes. Uktavtam el muzozot betecha uvisharecha. And you shall write them upon the doorpost of your house and upon your gate.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshani b'toratcha v'natan lanu et ror hachayim, ve'yeshua mishachenu sar hashalom.
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with your Torah, and has given us the light of life in Jesus our Messiah, the Prince of Peace. come to light the way, to turn our darkness into day, and we will shine for all to see. Messiah's come for you and me. Like the candles, burn them bright, let them shine into the night.
Like candles, thick and clear, that His return is bright and and He will come to light the way, to turn our darkness into day, and He will shine for all to see. Messiah's come for you and me. Like the candles burn bright, let them shine into the night. Like candles each known, we are His very own, and He has come to light the way, to turn our darkness into day. And we will shine for all to see. Messiah's come for you. He has come. And He has come to light the way, to turn our darkness into day. And we will shine for all to see. Messiah's come for you and me. We delight. And if you're comfortable dancing, dance. If you're not comfortable dancing, get an instrument, make a flag, whatever. We are to worship the Lord with everything we have. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King.
Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat. We enter your rest and your praises we sing. Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat.
We delight, we delight.
We delight, we delight in your Shabbat.
We delight, we delight.
We delight, we delight in your Shabbat.
In 6 days you painted the face of the earth. Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat. And carved out a day when you rest from your work.
Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat.
And brought forth the nation from the land.
Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat. And spared his son Yitzchak, providing the ram. Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat. We delight, we delight, we delight, we delight in your Shabbat. We delight, we delight, we delight in your Shabbat.
The prophets foretold that
Mashiach would come. Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat.
Shabbat
For Yahweh is one. Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat. And just as you rested when your work was done, Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat. We'll enter your rest by the work of your Son. Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat. We delight, we delight, we delight, we delight in your Shabbat. We delight, we delight, we delight, we delight in your Shabbat.
the lilies
You dress and the sparrows you feed. Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat.
Elohim.
Will provide every need. Adonai, we delight Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat.
We enter your rest and your praises we sing.
Adonai, we delight in your Shabbat.
Lord God of Abraham,
Isaac and Israel, let it be known today that you are God. We offer up our lives as a living sacrifice. Purify us with your holy fire. Holy fire, you are the Holy One, highly exalted One. We've come to worship at your holy hill. You are the Holy One, highly exalted One, and we surrender to your sovereign will, O Lord God of Abraham. Lord God of Abraham, Isaac and Israel, let it be known today that you are God.
Come now and fill this place.
Come now and fill this place. Be exalted in our praise. Let it be known today that you are God. You are God. You are the Holy One, highly exalted One.
We've come to worship at your holy hill. You are the Holy One, highly exalted One, and we surrender to your sovereign will.
O Lord God of Abraham, Lord God of Abraham, Isaac and Israel, let it be known today that you are God. Offer up our lives as a living sacrifice. Purify us with your holy fire. Holy fire, you are the Holy One, highly exalted One. We've come to worship at your holy hill. You are the Holy One, highly exalted One, and we surrender to your sovereign will.
You are the Holy One.
You are the Holy One, highly exalted One. We come to worship at your holy hill. You are the Holy One, highly exalted One, and we surrender to your sovereign will. O Lord God of Abraham,
Lord God,
O Lord God of Abraham, O Lord God of Abraham.
desert song. I keep hearing it, but I don't want to do that song today, Lord. But we need to understand that even as we begin a time English right, which is not what it means. It's right into the wilderness. This is my prayer in the desert, when all that's within me feels dry. This is my prayer when I hunger and need my God to come who provides. This is my prayer in the fire, in weakness or trial or pain. There is a faith proved to more worth than gold, so refine me, Lord, through the flame. And I will bring praise, I will bring praise. No weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. This is my prayer in the battle, when triumph is still on its way. I am a conqueror and conquer with Christ, so firm on His promises I'll stand. All of my life. All of my life, in every season, yours to God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. All of my life. All of my life, in every season, yours to God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. This is my prayer in the harvest. This is my prayer in the harvest, when favor and providence abound. I know I'm built to be active again. The seed I received I will sow. And I will bring praise, I will bring praise. No weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. I will bring praise, I will bring praise. No weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. All of my life. All of my life, in every season, yours to God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. All of my life. All of my life, in every season, yours to God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. All of my life, one more time. All of my life, in every season, yours to God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. I will sing praise, and I will bring praise. I will bring praise. No weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice. I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. I will bring praise, I will bring praise. No weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. God is my victory and He is here. God is my victory and He is here. Our reading today begins the book of Numbers. In Hebrew, the Midbar, which means in the wilderness. In the wilderness. And I know there's a lot of people that kind of go, oh, do you really have to read all those names? Yes, we do. Poor Craig. So anyway, we're beginning in Numbers, the Midbar, chapter 1, verse 1, and we're going to go through chapter 4, verse 20 today.
Excuse me, a little wheezy this morning. Numbers, beginning verse 1. Then the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the tent of meeting on the first of the second month in the second year after they had come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take a census of all the congregation of the sons of Israel, by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names, every male head by head, from 20 years old and upward, whoever is able to go out to war in Israel. You and Aaron shall number them by their armies. With you, moreover, there shall be a man of each tribe, each one head of his father's household. These then are the names of the men who shall stand with you. Of Reuben, Eleazar, the son of Shedir. Of Simeon, Shelumiel, the son of Zerishadai. Of Judah, Nahshon, the son of Aminadab. Of Issachar, Nathaniel, the son of Zuar. Of Zebulun, Eliab, the son of Helon. Of the sons of Joseph. Of Ephraim, Elishama, the son of Ammihud. Of Manasseh, Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur. Of Benjamin, Abidan, the son of Gideoni. Of Dan, Ahiezer, the son of Amashadai. Of Asher, Pagiel, the son of Ochran. Of Gad, Eliasaph, the son of Duel. Of Naphtali, Ahira, the son of Enan. These are they who were called of the congregation, the leaders of their fathers' tribes. They were the heads of divisions of Israel. So Moses and Aaron took these men who had been designated by name, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first of the second month. Then they registered by ancestry in their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names from 20 years old and upward, head by head. Just as the Lord had commanded Moses. So he numbered Just as the Lord had commanded Moses, so he numbered them in the wilderness of Sinai. Now the sons of Reuben, Israel's firstborn, their genealogical registration, by their families, by their father's household, thank you, according to the number of names, head by head, every male from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war. Their numbered men of the tribe of Reuben were 46,500. Of the sons of Simeon, their genealogical registration by their families, by their father's household, their numbered men according to the number of names, head by head, every male from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war. Their numbered men of the tribe of Simeon were 59,300. Of the sons of Gad, their genealogical registration by their families, by their father's household, according to the number of names from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war. Their numbered men of the tribe of Gad were 45,650. Of the sons of Judah, their genealogical registrations by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the numbers of names from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war. Their numbered men of the tribe of Judah were 74,600. Of the sons of Issachar, their genealogical registration by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war. Their numbered men of the tribe of Issachar were 54,400. Of the sons of Zebulun, their genealogical registration by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war. Their numbered men of the tribe of Zebulun were 57,400. Of the sons of Joseph, namely of the sons of Ephraim, their genealogical registration by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war, their numbered men of the tribe of Ephraim were 40,500. Of the sons of Manasseh, their genealogical registration by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war, their numbered men of the tribe of Manasseh were 32,200. Of the sons of Benjamin, their genealogical registrations by their families, by their fathers' household, according to their number of names, from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war, their numbered men of the tribe of Benjamin were 35,400. Of the sons of Dan, their genealogical registration by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war, their numbered men of the tribe of Dan were 62,700. Of the sons of Asher, their genealogical registrations by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war, their numbered men of the tribe of Asher were 41,500. Of the sons of Naphtali, their genealogical registration by their families, by their fathers' households, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war, their numbered men of the tribe of Naphtali were 53,400. These are the ones who were numbered, whom Moses and Aaron numbered with the leaders of Israel, 12 men, each of whom was of his father's household. So all the numbered men of the sons of Israel by their fathers' households, from 20 years old and upward, whoever was able to go out to war in Israel, even all the numbered men were 603,550. The Levites, however, were not numbered among them by their father's tribe, for the Lord had spoken to Moses, saying, Only the tribe of Levi you shall not number, nor shall you take their census among the sons of Israel, but you shall appoint the Levites over the tabernacle. But you shall appoint the Levites over the tabernacle of the testimony, and over all its furnishings, and over all that belongs to it. They shall carry the tabernacle and all its furnishings, and shall take care of it. They shall also camp around the tabernacle. So when the tabernacle is to set out, the Levite shall take it down. And when the tabernacle encamps, the Levite shall set it up. But the layman who comes near shall be put to death. Shall be put to death. And the sons of Israel shall camp, each man by his own camp, and each man by his own standard, according to their names, according to their armies. But the Levites shall camp around the tabernacle of the testimony, that there may be no wrath on the congregations of the sons of Israel. So the Levites shall keep charge of the tabernacle of the testimony. Thus the sons of Israel did, according to all which the Lord had commanded Moses, so they did. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, The sons of Israel shall camp, each by his own standard, with the banners with the banners of their fathers' households. They shall camp around the tent of meeting at a distance. Now those who camp on the east side toward the sunrise shall be of the standard of the camp of Judah by their armies. And the leader of the sons of Judah, Nashon the son of Amminadab, and his army, even their numbered men, 74,600. And those who camp next to him shall be of the tribe of Issachar. And the leader of the sons of Issachar, Nethanel the son of Zuar, and his army, even their numbered men, 54,400. Then comes the tribe of Zebulun, and the leader of the sons of Zebulun, Eliab the son of Helon, and his army, even his numbered men, 57,400. The total of the numbered men of the camp of Judah, 186,400 by their armies. They shall set out first. On the south side shall be the standard of the camp of Reuben by their armies, and the leader, excuse me. And the leader of the sons of Reuben, Elizur the son of Shedeur, and his army, even their numbered men, 46,500. And those who camp next to him shall be of the tribe of Simeon. And the leader of the sons of Simeon, Shelumiel the son of Zurishaddai, and his army, even their numbered men, 59,300. Then comes the tribe of Gad, and the leader of the sons of Gad, Eliasaph the son of Duel, and his army, even their numbered men, 45,650. The total of the numbered men of the camp of Reuben, 151,450 by their armies, and they shall set out second. Then the tent of meeting shall set out with the camp of the Levites in the midst of the camps, just as they camp, so they shall set out, every man in his place by their standards. On the west side shall be the standard of the camp of Ephraim by their armies, and the leader of the sons of Ephraim shall be Elishama the son of Ammihud, and his army, even their numbered men, 40,500. And next to him shall be the tribe of Manasseh, and the leader of the sons of Manasseh, Gamaliel the son of Pethazur, and his army, even their numbered men, 32,200. Then comes the tribe of Benjamin, and the leader of the sons of Benjamin, Abidan the son of Gideoni, and his army, even their numbered men, 35,400. The total of the numbered men of the camp of Ephraim, 108,100 by their armies, and they shall set out third. On the north side shall be the standard of the camp of Dan by their armies, and the leader of the sons of Dan, Ahiezer the son of Ammishaddai, and his army, even their numbered men, 62,700. And those who camp next to him shall be the tribe of Asher, and the leader of the sons of Asher, Pagiel the son of Ochran, and his army, even their numbered men, 41,500. Then comes the tribe of Naphtali, and the leader of the sons of Naphtali, Ahira the son of Enan, and his army, even their numbered men, 53,400. The total of the numbered men of the camp of Dan was 157,600. They shall set out last by their standards. These are the numbered men of the sons of Israel by their fathers' households, the total of the numbered men of the camps by their armies, 603,550. The Levites, however, were not numbered among the sons of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Thus the sons of Israel did, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses, so they kept by their standards, and they set out, every one by his family, according to his father's household. Now these are the records of the generations of Aaron and Moses at the time when the Lord spoke with Moses on Mount Sinai. These then are the names of the sons of Aaron: Nadab, the firstborn, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. These are the names of the sons of Aaron, the anointed priests, whom he ordained to serve as priests. But Nadab and Abihu died before the Lord when they offered strange fire before the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai, and they had no children. So Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests in the lifetime of their father Aaron. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Bring the tribe of Levi near and set them before Aaron the priest, that they may serve him. And they shall perform the duties for him and for the whole congregation before the tent of meeting, to do the service of the tabernacle. They shall also keep all the furnishings of the tent of meeting, along with the duties of the sons of Israel, to do the service of the tabernacle. You shall thus give the Levites to Aaron and to his sons. They are wholly given to him from among the sons of Israel. So you shall appoint Aaron and his sons, that they may keep their priesthood, but the layman who comes near shall be put to death. Again the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Now behold, I have taken the Levites from among the sons of Israel, instead of every firstborn, the first issue of the womb among the sons of Israel, so the Levites shall be mine. For all the firstborn are mine. On the day that I struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I sanctified to myself all the firstborn in Israel, from man to beast. They shall be mine. I am the Lord. Then the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, saying, Number the sons of Levi by their fathers' households, by their families, every male from a month old and upward you shall number. So Moses numbered them according to the word of the Lord, just as he had been commanded. These then are the sons of Levi by their names, Gershon and Kohath and Merari. And these are the names of the sons of Gershon by their families, Libni and Shimei. And the sons of Kohath by their families, Amram and Ishar, Hebron and Uzziel. And the sons of Merari by their families, Mali and Mushi. These are the families of the Levites according to their fathers' households. Of Gershon was the family of the Libnites, and the family of the Shimeites. These were the families of the Gershonites. Their numbered men in the numbering of every male from a month old and upward, even their numbered men were 7,500. The families of the Gershonites were to camp behind the tabernacle westward, and the leader of the fathers' households of the Gershonites was Eliasaph the son of Lael. Now the duties of the sons of Gershon in the tent of meeting involved the tabernacle and the tent, its covering, and the screens for the doorway of the tent of meeting, and the hangings of the court, and the screen for the doorway of the court, which is around the tabernacle, and the altar, its cords, according to all the service concerning them. And of Kohath was the family of the Amramites, and the family of the Isharites, and the family of the Hebronites, and the family of the Uzzielites. These were the families of the Kohathites. In the numbering of every male from a month old and upward, there were 8,600 performing the duties of the sanctuary. The families of the sons of Kohath were to camp on the southward side of the tabernacle, and the leader of the fathers, And the leader of the fathers' households of the Kohathite families was Elizaphan the son of Uzziel. Now their duties involved the ark, the table, the lampstand, the altars, and the utensils of the sanctuary with which they minister, and the screen, and all the service concerning them. And Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest was the chief of the leaders of Levi, and had the oversight of those who performed the duties of the sanctuary. Of Merari was the family of the Mahalites and the family of the Mushites. These were the families of Merari. Their numbered men in the numbering of every male from a month old and upward were 6,200. And the leader of the fathers' households of the families of Merari was Zuriel the son of Abihail. They were to camp on the northward side of the tabernacle.
Now the appointed duties of the sons of Merari involved the frames of the tabernacle, its bars, its pillars, its sockets, all its equipment, and the service concerning them, and the pillars around the court with their sockets and their pegs and their cords. Now those who were to camp before the tabernacle eastward, before the tent of meeting toward the sunrise, are Moses and Aaron and his sons, performing the duties of the sanctuary for the obligation of the sons of Israel. But the layman coming near was to be put to death. All the numbered men of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron numbered at the command of the Lord by their families, every male from a month old and upward, were 22,000. Chapter 3, verse 40. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Number every firstborn male of the sons of Israel from a month old and upward, and make a list of their names. And you shall take the Levites for me. I am the Lord. Instead of all the firstborn among the sons of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites, instead of all the firstborn among the cattle of the sons of Israel." So Moses numbered all the firstborn among the sons of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded him. And all the firstborn males by the number of names from a month old and upward, for their numbered men were 22,273. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the Levites instead of all the firstborn among the sons of Israel, and the cattle of the Levites, and the Levites shall be mine. I am the Lord. And for the ransom of the 273 of the firstborn of the sons of Israel who are in excess beyond the Levites, you shall take 5 shekels apiece per head. You shall take them in terms of the shekel of the sanctuary. The shekel is 20 gerahs. And give the money, the ransom of those who are in excess among them, to Aaron and to his sons." So Moses took the ransom money from those who were in excess, beyond those ransomed by the Levites. From the firstborn of the sons of Israel he took the money in terms of the shekel of the sanctuary, 1,365. Then Moses gave the ransom money to Aaron and to his sons at the command of the Lord, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Numbers chapter 4. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, "Take a census of the descendants of Kohath from among the sons of Levi, by their families, by their father's household, from 30 years and upward, even to 50 years old, all who enter the service to do the work of the tent of meeting. This is the work of the descendants of Kohath in the tent of meeting, concerning the most holy things. When the camp sets out, Aaron and his sons shall go in, and they shall take down the veil of the screen, and cover the ark of the testimony with it. And they shall lay a covering of porpoise skin on it, and shall spread over it a cloth of pure blue, and shall insert its poles. Over the table of the bread of the presence they shall also spread a cloth of blue, and put on it the dishes, and the pans, and the sacrificial bowls, and the jars for the libation, and the continual bread shall be on it. And they shall spread over them a cloth of scarlet material, and cover the same with a covering of porpoise skin, and they shall insert its poles. Then they shall take a blue cloth, and cover the lampstand for the light, along with its lamps and its snuffers and its trays and all its oil vessels by which they serve it. And they shall put it and all its utensils in a covering of porpoise skin, and shall put it on the carrying bars. And over the golden altar they shall spread a blue cloth, and cover it with a covering of porpoise skin, and shall insert its poles. And they shall take all the utensils of service with which they serve in the sanctuary, and put them in a blue cloth, and cover them with a covering of porpoise skin, and put them on the carrying bars. Then they shall take away the ashes from the altar, and spread a purple cloth over it. They shall also put on it all its utensils by which they serve in connection with it, the fire pans, the forks and shovels, and the basins, all the utensils of the altar. They shall spread a cover of porpoise skin over it and insert its bowls. And when Aaron excuse me. And when Aaron and his sons have finished covering the holy objects and all the furnishings of the sanctuary, when the camp is to set out, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to carry them, so that they may not touch the holy objects and die. These are the things in the tent of meeting, which the sons of Kohath are to carry. And the responsibility of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, is the oil for the light, and the fragrant incense, and the continual grain offering, and the anointing oil, the responsibility of all the tabernacle, and of all that is in it, with the sanctuary and its furnishings. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, Do not let the tribe of the families of the Kohathites be cut off from among the Levites, but do this to them, that they may live and not die when they approach the most holy objects. Aaron and his son shall go in and assign each of them to his work and to his load. But they shall not go in to see the holy objects even for a moment, lest they die.
Kadosh, you get to that from this reading? Actually, it's pretty simple, okay? Because when we read all these names, we read all these numbers, all we think about is, oh, Moses numbered the tribes, right? But I want to think about the timing of this, okay? When was he allowed to number the tribes? Because before, he was told not to. There's only a couple of times in Scripture that God told them to count the people. Only a few times. But there are many times where he's told the kings, don't count your men. Don't count them. Don't count them. You know why we don't count them? Because our trust is not in the number of men that are in the army. Our trust doesn't belong there. Was it the verse that says, some trust in horses, some trust in chariots, but I will trust in the name of the Lord. They weren't to count them. They weren't to count the armies. But at this point they did. And it's a timing issue. Rabbi Yaakov Kametsky, I don't even think I pronounced it right, Kamenetsky, wrote this. The census of Exodus counted the nation as a whole, whereas the census in Numbers counts the tribes separately. Notice that difference? When he counted them in Exodus, it was all of them, but he didn't divide them up by tribes. This time he's dividing them up by tribes. Until it was established that the central motive in Jewish life is the sanctuary, there's a danger that one's identification with his own tribe will lead to nationalism, factionalism. Once it is established, however, that all tribes look to the tabernacle as the primary unifying force. Did you hear that? All tribes must look to the tabernacle as that primary unifying force. Then the establishment of the separate tribal identities is healthy. Then each tribe can realize that its individual abilities are developed for the service of Israel's national goal, the service of the tabernacle, the glorification of God. That's what every individual's abilities are about, pulling together to glorify God. Then, when we recognize that, we can be separate in terms of the unique roles we are to play in realizing the national destiny. Now, in his case, he's talking about the nation of Israel, but I will tell you that this is an international destiny at this point. When we realize that the central focus is Yeshua, the lifting up of Yeshua, then we can look at our individual gifts and our individual focuses, and we can bring them together to glorify God, to glorify Yeshua. But until he becomes center, then we all become about what we're good at. Right? Each of the tribes has giftings. Each of the tribes has blessings. Each of the tribes has things that God gave to them to focus on, to do. And they were their roles, their responsibilities. Tonight, as we have our Birkat HaKodesh, our blessing the next month, we're going to talk about the tribe of Zebulun, because it's next. The tribe of Zebulun. This is the tribe represented in the next month, the month of Sivan. And we're going to talk about what's in that month. They had a very special role. That's different than Issachar's role, right? That's different than Judah's role. And yet the three of them were together at the front. They camped at the front. They were the first to head out in the marching order. Right? That's what we read. Each had their specific role. The other tribes all had their roles. I love how the reading ends with the statement, verse 18, it gets to that point. Don't let the tribe of the family of the Kohathites be cut off from among the Levites. Why? Well, gee, think about it this way. You've got the tribe of Levi, right? And you've got a certain grouping that's allowed to go in and cover everything up, and then you've got another group that comes in and carries, right? Okay. How easy would it be for us to think less of the group that carries than of the group that covers? And God is saying, no, don't cut them off. They are not less than. They are to stay, just because they don't get to go into the Holy of Holies, just because they don't get to touch these things, doesn't make them any less important in their role as Levites. They are just as necessary. Don't cut them off. God's warning them. Don't do it. I think in the body of Yeshua, in the body of Messiah, many, many, many fellowships have a tendency to focus on what their particular pastor or their particular leadership is really good at. Growing up in churches, I'm very much aware that there are some churches that are teaching churches, some churches that are evangelism churches, some churches that are really just loving churches. You can go here to heal, you go here to get saved, you go here to learn the Word, right? Is that what it's supposed to be like? I don't think so personally. You know why I don't think so? Because we're all to be about glorifying Yeshua, glorifying God. We need the evangelists. We need that gifting in the church. Our fellowship particularly needs that. We need that. The evangelists, those that go out in the world, those who have a special blessing for some reasons, like they open their mouth and say one line and people get saved. People begin to recognize it. And it's a gift, guys. It's a gift. And it's a calling. Now that doesn't mean all of us don't evangelize. That's not an excuse not to talk about and share Jesus. That's not an excuse not to share. Just because you're not an evangelist doesn't mean you don't get to share. We're supposed to. But there are some that have that gift. I don't understand it. There are some that have gifts that are pastoral gifts in terms of bringing healing to people. That doesn't mean we can't all bring healing. We should all act in love. Yeshua told Peter, feed my sheep. That's the role of a pastor. Take care of the sheep. Take care of them. Make sure they've got good water. Make sure they've got good food. Make sure that they are cared for. Take care of them when they get hurt. It's the role of a good pastor. Not everyone is gifted that way. But we all need them. Some are gifted more in the way of a prophet, who come along and they see what's right, they see what's wrong, and they, there it is, black and white, they speak it out. They hear the voice of God over people, and they can speak into their lives certain things, and it's just amazing when you work with a prophet, someone who has that gifting, how far you can get, because they have a vision, and they share that, and you see the vision of God, and they share the vision of God over you. And then you can walk in that vision. We all need to know prophets. Yet we all can see the good in other people and speak it, right? We all have that gift to a degree. But there are some who walk in that office. They see the plans of God, they see them unfolding in the earth, and they speak them out. We need prophets. We need pastors. We need evangelists. We need teachers. We need people who can take the word and make it make sense to us. Help us understand it. Does that mean we're not all supposed to study it for yourselves? Absolutely. Absolutely. If I ever say in fact, I would rather you guys all read this at home 3 or 4 times during the week so that when you come, you're prepared. You're going, okay, what is it you're saying, God? So that during your week, as you study, as you read it, you can look things up. You can study it out. You can ask questions of the Lord, and He can explain it to you directly because He can, and He will. I'm looking forward to the day we have enough people that are interested in studying Hebrew as a language that I can sign us up for a class. Because I know someone who's got some material we can use. And we can all learn, and we can learn together. Because you know what? There's some things that just don't make the same sense in English as they do in Hebrew. And sometimes we read it in English and we get a perspective and we have a certain understanding. But if you know the Hebrew part, if you understand the background of it, our understanding may be different. It may be taken away from the basic level of the Hebrew understanding. There's multiple ways of studying Scripture, multiple levels of understanding. There are times that a verse jumps out at you and God is speaking to you directly, something specific about your life, about whatever. But you go back later and you look at it, what it spoke to you is totally out of context. Right? And you know what? That's okay. Because God used it to speak to you individually. But it would not be okay to take that verse out of its context and make doctrine out of it. That wouldn't be safe. Because that takes away from the intention and the meaning. And we want to be careful about that. We all should be studying. The Apostle Paul wrote, "Study to show yourselves approved unto God, workmen that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." And he was talking about Torah. He was not talking about the New Testament. It hadn't been written yet. He wasn't talking about the apostolic writings. He hadn't finished all his letters. He was still writing them. But he was talking about understanding Torah. Rightly dividing it. Understanding the prophecies. Beginning to understand what God did, what God said. Why did God number them? So they begin to align where they belonged. Have you ever had an army that marches out of order? That'd be kind of dangerous, wouldn't it? When you have teams that do things, and I've done work with teams where there's a team and each is assigned to a certain task, and you all do your task, everything goes really, really well, and everything goes smoothly. But if you try to do the other person's task, you get things out of order, it causes problems, right? I used to sing with a group when I was in high school. We called ourselves Reflections of the Sun. Beautiful. It was a girls group, and there were 6 of us. And when we traveled and went to different churches, we took our own sound system because we had our own background accompaniment tracks that we used to sing to. And each one of us had certain things when we got to the church we were going to. Each one of us was assigned to set up certain things. There were 6 mics we shared, 2 on a mic. They were omnidirectional, not unidirectional. It worked really, really well for us. Someone was in charge of setting up this mic, someone else was in this mic, someone else was in this mic. Someone else was supposed to get the cord, plug it into the main box, and bring it forward to plug into your mic. You got to know which mic is yours. You got to plug in the right cord. You don't want to miss it up. Because the guy that's running the sound is setting up the board, and he's going to be trusting that this cord that's plugged into the little red circle is plugged into the mic that he's designated as the red mic. You've got to do it right. We each had our own part to do. We could get in and literally be set up for a concert in 15 minutes' time. We liked it that way because usually the churches had meals for us and whatever they wanted to celebrate. So it's like, give us 15 minutes to set up and we'll join you. And boom, 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 everything was done, we were set up, and then we could go in and meet with the people. Everyone knew their task. When God was ordering them, the people had come out of Egypt as a large, massive group. And they had marched as a large, massive group. They had come across an area. They had camped at the base of Mount Sinai. They had been given the word from Mount Sinai. Now it was getting ready to be time to head out again. This time God didn't want them marching as just a mass mess. When they came out of Egypt, it was a mass exodus. They were mixed up. It was a mixed multitude, it says, and that means multiple things. That means that some were Egyptians that had joined with them, but it also means that they were a mixed multitude. They were all mixed up. Now God's wanting to take them across the wilderness to the promised land, an army of God, and they're going to have to be in order for it to work. He knows there's going to be enemies come against them. He knows there's going to be enemies come behind him and try to nip him in the bud. Come up and take off the weak ones. And so he puts certain ones in certain places. He puts Judah up front. And he says, you are the front runners. You are the front army. You are taking territory as you go. You lead the way. And he put between them, put with him, these two tribes. He put them in order so that when it was time to get up and go, they could get up and go in time. So that when armies came against them, they knew how to camp in such a way that protected the sanctuary. When they set up camp, it was done in a certain way, in a certain order. They surrounded the sanctuary of God. And God's Spirit was in the midst. Each knew his order. Each knew his job. And no one was disrespecting another. They all worked together. You know, my prayer for the body of Messiah is that we will begin to understand some things like we've all got swords. We are an army. We all have our calling and our role and our place in the body of Messiah. Even those we don't agree with on things, we still have our place. Just because God shows me these wonderful, beautiful nuggets in Torah and in obedience to Torah doesn't mean that I can disregard, disrespect, and be rude to the people that don't get those nuggets yet. Don't cut them off. They're also in service to God. Don't cut them off. Respect and honor. Don't cut them off. God, I believe, is going to bring everyone around. I really do. I believe this movement that begins to recognize that God never did away with the first covenant. He never did away with the Adamic covenant. He never did away with the Noahic covenant. He never did away with the Abrahamic covenant. And he never did away with the Mosaic covenant. And the covenant that Yeshua began, notice I said began, it's not done yet. When he began, does not disregard, disrespect all the others. It builds on it. It builds on it. I see that. I have many, many friends that I love in the Lord, that I pray with, that I minister with, that don't see that yet. I can't disrespect them. Because God's given me a certain role, I'm to fulfill my role and honor those who have a different role. The tribe of Dan, Naphtali, and Asher took up the rear. Just because they were last in line did not mean they were not important. They didn't see all the same things that Judah saw. So they may have seen things differently. They may have been, they were the ones that kind of cleaned up as it went, they're the ones in the back. So you got to clean up, right? They're going to leave messes. So they're going to see things totally differently than these guys. We're front runners, guys. We see things differently. We're taking land. We're taking territory in the Spirit. And I do believe that God's going to bring the others along. He will. He will. I can't disrespect them. But I do need to know where my role is. What's my job? Where do I march? So that I'm in my place. Because we are an army. We are an army. The Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians, first chapter, that church in Corinth was sure a mess, weren't they? They were sure a mess. And yet God had given them all the gifts of the Spirit. So the next time you think someone can't function in a gift of the Spirit because they're a mess, better study Corinthians and recognize that God gave them all gifts of the Spirit. They were functioning in the gifts of the Spirit, even if they were a real mess. Chapter 1, verse 11, it says, I have been informed concerning you, my brethren, by Chloe's people. By the way, Chloe's a woman, and Chloe's people would be those that fellowshiped with her, that she led, her group. So, anyway, I've been informed concerning you, my brethren, by Chloe's people, that there are quarrels among you. I mean it this way, that each of you is saying, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos, I'm of Cephas, I am of Christ. Has Christ been divided? Paul was not crucified for you, was he? Were you baptized in the name of Paul? I thank God I baptized none of you except Crispus and Gaius, that no one should say you were baptized in my name. I did also baptize Stephanas and his household, but beyond that I don't know of anyone else that I baptized. Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not in cleverness of speech, that the cross of Christ should not be made void. I think what he's saying is you can't say, I'm from Judah, I'm a praiser, I'm going to go out there and praise, everybody's got to praise like me. Right? Or, even worse, one that I get in trouble with because, I'm that inner deep worship person usually, and it's like, I can't say I'm a son of Aaron. You guys aren't important because I get to go into the deep stuff. Right? That's not right. We can't say that. None of the tribes, none of us can stand up and say, this is my gift and it's important. What we all need to do is stand up and say, this is my gift and I'm doing it to the best of my ability, to the honor of Messiah.
Amen.
Our King, our Savior, our Lord. Everyone is going to gather around Him.
That's right.
We're not going to be gathering around churches. We're not going to be gathering around our favorite pastors. We're not going to be gathering around our favorite worship leaders. We can all have our favorites. That's okay. But we can't disrespect someone else and say, I'm better because. We can't come with superiority to each other. We have to come with respect, honor, work together, do your part. Don't criticize the one that's doing theirs. Don't try to correct it. Seek God. Honor Him. Honor God. Honor His Word. Yeshua said, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto Him. Let's lift Him up. Let's lift Him up. Let's stand and say, He is the Lion of Judah. He is. He's the King. He's the one we honor and respect. Father, thank you for today. Thank you for what you teach us. Thank you for your word. Thank you that even though there's so many nuggets in here I could have gone off, and you were very specific. You said, hey, honor me. Honor me. We all honor you. And so, Father, teach us. Encourage us. Let us be strong in our standing before you. Let us honor and respect the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He is our King. We all bow to Him. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach.